This is my Grammastola Pulchripes. So that was my Chaco golden knee. It's pretty skittish right now, but they're known for being out in the open um, and being very docile when they get older. Mine is still on the verge of being a juvenile, but still a sling. So it still has a burrow and is pretty skittish. So this species is from the grasslands of Argentina and Paraguay. They're known for their flashy leg colors. They're bright golden bands that the adults have going on their knees. And if you look back to that like point 0 seconds with the actual spider in the shot, you can see that it's got some coloring on it, but it's not as vibrant. It's a little more mute. And every time it molts, I'm hoping it's a she, and you'll see in a second. But every time it molts, the colors get more apparent, and it's amazing. People say that it's got like a slow growth rate, but it's been growing like crazy for me. Every time it molts, I have to put it in a brand new container that's way too big for it. Um, so as I said, slings burrow a lot. You'll basically never see them. They're cowards. I mean, that's how they survive. Um, the females can live 20 plus years. I don't know exactly how long. Definitely longer in captivity than in the wild because it's the wild. They're also known to get like 7, 8 inches from diagonal leg span length, which is really crazy. So even though I see that they're really docile, and a lot of people do hold their Grammastola Pulchripes, but I don't hold any of my tarantulas because I just find that to be the more responsible thing for me, at least. I know what I'm doing. I've been keeping for years, but I have been bitten. Granted, it was once, and it was absolutely my fault. I panicked when I shouldn't have, but I could have been seriously injured, and I did have a bad reaction. My arm was purple and hot and itchy for about a month, um, which sucked. And the spider could have been hurt, and it wasn't. But I got cocky while handling an Acanthus scaria geniculata. Um, they shouldn't be handled anyway. So mostly the reason why I don't handle is because I think about the safety of my pets first, and they're honestly really, really, really fragile. Since they're a terrestrial species, they stay on the ground. Any fall from any type of height could really hurt them. So I keep my enclosure about half full with substrate, and I keep a medicine bottle cap filled with water for it. I miss the enclosure every now and then. I have a hide. I keep really simple enclosures. Like, as you can see, like, they're all really simple. Water dish, a hide, substrate. They don't really need any type of enrichment because they just sit there and wait for their next prey to come. And then they eat and repeat. For food, yes, they definitely need to eat. I would choose like crickets and soft-shelled insects that are like farm raised, free of parasites. You can get them at the pet store. You can order them online, get them shipped to your house. This species is also an architect, meaning if you put any type of decorations in with it, it's gonna bury them. There are several water dishes buried in that enclosure, and I keep replacing them, just putting new ones in. I'm not gonna undo its beautiful work. They constantly are pushing substrate around and digging and digging and digging. Oh, did I mention that they like to dig? So If you get angry really quick about having to empty out a water dish every day and refill it with water only to find it filled up a couple of hours later, um, this might not be a species for you because that's gonna happen. When feeding them, they have a really good feeding response unless they're in pre-molt. Um, if they don't eat, that's a sign that they're probably gonna molt soon, and it's dangerous to leave any uneaten food in there. Um, you should never feed them when their abdomen is bigger than their carapace. You kind of want to keep it like at the same size as the carapace. Food should be the same size as the carapace or smaller. Feed it once a week. If it's an adult, feed it a couple times a week as a sling. The slings are scavengers, so they will eat like a cricket leg if you throw it in there, or they'll eat on a dead cricket if you throw it in there. Just make sure it's fresh. Honestly, it's a really good beginner species. Probably not a good starter. No, actually, really good first tarantula. My first tarantula was a Chaco golden knee. If anybody remembers when Petco had those tarantula huts for $20, yeah. Oh, and disclaimer: if you plan on keeping these, just note they have fangs and they bite. They have the full capacity to bite. They don't have the ability to love you. They're basically a look but don't touch pet. And don't get me started on the urticating hairs. Actually, let me get started on the urticating hairs. So, when they feel threatened, they can kick the hairs on their abdomen off at you and aim towards your face. If they get into your nose, mouth, eyes, that's really bad for you. And when the hairs touch your skin, it causes a rash that really sucks. Don't ask me how I know. And their fangs can get pretty damn long. Think about it. It's an 8-inch spider, diagonal leg span, okay? It's gonna have fangs like this big that can pierce through your finger. But on good news, it doesn't have medically significant venom unless you're allergic to it. I'm not allergic to it. This sling may have bitten me while I was trying to get it out of its vial when it was shipped to me. But since it was the size of my pinky nail, it felt less than a bee sting. So make sure that your spider stays above 60 degrees. And then upwards about 80, but it might be a little uncomfortable, 76. Keep it at room temperature. Okay, just no heaters, no lights needed. They're creatures of the dark. They're nocturnal for the most part. So if you're a beginner, if you're experienced, if you want something flashy and big and something that, depending on its personality, you can bring out show company and freak them out. And they make a really good display tarantula too. Good conversation starters. Basically one of the hardest tarantulas to mess up on. But you gotta plan on where you're gonna put your 10-gallon tank when you have to set it up. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I got a couple of years.